We are back. We are recording. Hello, after the very long hiatus from, it was a really long time. Even the recordings that were being posted were quite a ways away. But we're here now, and I have finally written out all of my notes and the recap of what happened during the episodes that I did not record because grad school absolutely kicked my ass. So, I am here to do the recap episode of these lost episodes, and joining me are the voices, respectively, of Jasminder and Shivers. Say hello. Introduce yourselves. Fantastic. Great start, both of you.
I'm not going till you go.
I was trying to wait to see if Jenny was gonna do bullshit.
Brother. You just need to sit back. You just need to sit back and enjoy the ride and understand my bullshit will happen when it happens.
Yeah, and I wanted to see if you were gonna make it happen.
Oh my god. You better fucking introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Day.
Just your actual IRL name is Jasminder.
In real life.
Yep.
It's
Cis het
actually
white woman,
Brittany.
Jasminder.
It's Brittany with a D.
I'm gonna kill
It's
you.
not Brittany with a D. Not Brittany with a D. The recording had not started when she came up. First of all, to any Brittany's with a D that are listening, God bless you in your mortal soul. Your name sucks ass. And I refuse to let you. I refuse to let you engage in this farce.
You can't tell people their names sucks ass.
So
I absolutely can.
So this is Keone and Jenny joining me. Keone is the voice of Jasminder. Jenny is the voice of Shivers, and
We don't know that for sure.
And we're just gonna get
Keone,
started.
do your best Shivers right now.
I'm-
Hold on, I got this.
Whip that shit out, brother.
Wait, bruv.
Jesus. Move on. Dani, start this fucking recap.
Yep. Well, we're just
Oh
gonna
my
jump
God.
right into it. With the episode.
Oh my fucking god.
The episode prior being our adventurers having arrived in the city of Barren Sands, had established themselves in, I believe it was the day before, had checked in with Sarah, the leader of the Viridian Society. Yes, a group within Barren Sands dedicated to the restoration of magic in the world. As a brief lore refresher, Sarah is also the mother of one of the NPC companions, Sabine, who has been traveling alongside the party for basically the whole time, has been in the narrative with you guys. First as a somebody who looked up to your party member Joran, and then later joined you in your trip to the city of Barren Sands. In the city, Shivers, I believe the last scene was Shivers having some memory recalled of him alongside his friend's found family, rather, Promise and Tusk, goofing around and shoving each other in the harbor. To which he awoke alone, having jumped in the river himself during his remembering.
He was drunk.
Moment. He was also drunk. Yes.
We got crunk like, I don't know, probably like an hour before that.
You did. Y'all were partying.
Off like fruity drinks. We were drinking our gay little drinks in gay little Barren Sands.
Enjoying yourselves before the proverbial storm, so to speak. So immediately following that, the memory that came back, Shivers went to the lighthouse at the docks, where he then reunited with Foxhound and Beaker, two of the members of the Half-Lives. Foxhound
Reunited is the word. It went so well.
It went terribly. Foxhound, it is revealed, is a 15-year-old human girl, very deeply traumatized. And I believe it was as soon as he opened the door, was leveling a crossbow at his head.
Yeah.
And Beaker is their Kenku Patcher of the group, also an alchemist. One of the, I think, the most level-headed of them, actually.
Can I be so
100%.
real right now?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew Beaker was a Kenku.
Beaker was a Kenku.
Beaker
Not only
was-
was he a Kenku, he was in fact one the entire time.
He was, and I always struggled to play
Um,
him because of the voice mimic thing. I am just not good at that as a DM, and I recognize that.
You,
thought-
you don't want to know what's so
shortfalls.
awesome? You can just ignore that.
I
I thought the art was just a plague doctor mask because he's a patcher.
Oh my god, brother.
that's wild.
We gotta get
to
you
me.
some fucking. We gotta get you some glass.
That is just wild to me. I had no idea.
You
that
didn't
you
focus
thought
on
that.
him at all.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
that is a Birdman.
anyway.
Anyway, continuing.
Just a lore detail, by the
Yeah.
way. Just as a lore detail that you missed. For Foxhound specifically. In your description, you didn't mention she's also an enormous turbo bitch.
She is
So-
a deeply traumatized
Complete
15-year-old.
abnormal freak child.
She has been through some of the worst things that you could expect a teenager to have to go through. And
That's great,
she's-
but it's like, I don't know. Be normal, bro.
She
Teenagers can be bitches.
she immediately broke down sobbing because she was under the assumption that Shivers was dead out in the desert, and to see
Might
him
as well
alive
be.
and having not immediately returned to them was heartbreaking is an
I was
understatement.
fucking busy.
And she immediately yelled at him to leave and all but shoved him out the door.
I was fucking busy.
While Shivers was walking around the docks, he ran into Rook, Cody's old character.
Oh my god, so long ago was this?
Yes, it was very long ago. And Rook found him and gave him some suggestions on what to say in a letter that he wrote and attached to the stuffed bear, which he left at the lighthouse for Foxhound to find.
Bear is a remixed magic item that I never got back.
Foxhound still has it, by the way.
There's a fucking spoiler. I don't have that shit anymore.
Yeah, Foxhound does. Wherever she is in
Fucking
the
little abnormal
current
freak.
timeline. We'll get
Go
there,
get
don't
normal.
worry.
You and your fucking bear, anyway.
After that, overnight, while you guys were resting or taking long rest, Jorn got robbed. They took a total of 250 gold pieces from her.
That's so many.
And her idea, once the morning came around and she realized what had happened, was to go to the underground fighting pits in Barren Sands to try and earn some of that back. So that next day, Jorn and Maisie went to the fighting pits to report in. Though they wouldn't be put in, or she wouldn't be put into the matches until later that evening. And meanwhile, Shivers, Kieran, and Jasmine all went to go to report to Sarah, Sabine's mother. And while you guys were heading there, you saw a semi-cloaked figure with a very large sword on their back, large wings, and one horn, one broken off. Is Red, who you would know to later be a companion. You guys watched Red leaving a meeting with Sarah, and Kieran, immediately suspicious of why a very tall half-devil was leaving Sarah's office with a giant sword, went to trail Red. And eventually found a hideout leading to tunnels outside of the city. In doing so...
Because while we were there, we picked up a thing.
Yeah,
oh my god.
And so while Kieran broke off to go trail Red, Jasmine and Shivers reported into Sarah about the mine that you guys had been in, where you mentioned the ley line, but you made no mention of the crystal orb that you found. And
This is true.
Sarah mentioned other ley lines that they have observed,
She'll need
and
to know
that
that shit.
she had also mentioned that her scouts were reporting plans of a coup within the city. In which the Silver Watch were going to try and overthrow the Jackals ruling over the city. And she had listed the party's help to get Sabine out of the city by then.
Did you mention the map we got? I spaced. Did you mention because we got a map from her?
That's right. Yes, she also.
We got a map of like potential. I think it was the spots that the coup was like gonna erupt at, or no?
Yes.
It was a map that the Silver Watch had drafted of buildings and areas in the city that they knew the Jackals were at. that they could hit in the chaos.
Yes, and I do remember this now because the lighthouse was one of them, and that freaked Shivers the fuck out.
Of course it did.
So that happened during the meeting, I mentioned Jordan and Maisie went so Jordan could go sign up for the fighting pits to recoup her lost gold, and Maisie introduced Beatty and Sabine, who got along immediately and became like immediate friends. To nobody's surprise.
It's been like 37 years since I last saw Biddy.
And upon the party getting back together, before the pit fights were going to go on, everybody kind of updated each other on the situations. So on Sarah's warning, the map, Maisie decided at that point to get the patchers of the city together to make a quote-unquote safe zone. So they could bring the injured there, and whether they were allied with the watch or with the jackals or just civilians, they could go there and know that they would not be discriminated against or attacked or anything like that, but they would have a safe place where their wounds would be tended to. So Maisie started drafting up that plan. And Sabine made a plan to help get some kids out of the city, including Biddy's little siblings, and like make basically a spot for them to be until the fighting dies down, and to later meet up with the others. So after that, all the planning was kind of established. Shivers took Kieran and Jasminder to the lighthouse because he had seen on Sarah's map that it was owned by known members of the Jackals, aka Tusk, Foxhound, and Beaker. Rightfully terrified for Foxhound, specifically after seeing the map, Shivers brought a copy to show Foxhound as a show of good faith to convince her to leave the city with Beaker. Since I don't think at that point you were aware where Tusk was, you wanted to also just try and get those two out of the city.
She pointed me to him, I think.
Yes.
Because she said she agreed initially that it was a good idea. And she told Shivers, Tusk is probably here. You need to go here. I'll go talk to Beaker. Don't worry about Beaker. I got Beaker.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Also happening during that, Kieran and Jasmine got into an argument about showing the map to them because they were jackals, and there was some anxiety, I think, over whether that information would spread to the other jackals and like upset the entire like thing. But regardless, Kieran managed to convince Jasmine that it was okay. Shivers manages to convince Foxhound to leave the city in a very heartfelt speech, and it not only convinced her to leave, but she promised to speak with Beaker, and I believe pointed them in the location that she last knew Tusk to be in the city.
Not to toot my own horn, but I do believe, as the kids say, I popped off.
Yeah, that's again
Skibbity Rizzler style.
Some of those scenes I'm really sad were not recorded because we went fucking hard on those RPs.
It's like the best RP I've ever done in my life.
I'm pretty sure I cried. Like God,
if that ain't the way.
There's others too, but anyway, flipping back. Jordan and Maisie go back to the fighting pits in time for the fights, and they were greeted by a goblin who checks them in and took collateral, Jordan's compass, as collateral for the fight since she had no gold to give. And she found out that she's fighting Telrath Valkyra, another dragonborn from her clan. And Jordan proceeded to thoroughly whoop her ass, winning 60 gold pieces and her compass back. Where the three of them chatted while Maisie patched them both up. Going back in time a little bit, we'll go back to that scene. After the talk with Foxhound, Shivers went to go see Promise's grave. Because in their conversation, I believe there was mention of Promise and how her death had affected all of them. And Foxhound was extremely upset that that Shivers didn't remember her. So in an attempt to go do that, I believe was what he was doing,
Yeah.
he went to her grave just outside the city overlooking the ocean. And you used your last background feature of deja vu to remember her. And I was cruel and made you remember her death. And how Shivers went out for a mission with the Jackals, specifically with Tusk and Promise, to ambush a camp of Silver Watch that initially went very cleanly, but partway through the ambush, it was more of a slaughter. Partway through, Promise was run through by a blade while calling out to Shivers by a human man with graying hair and a large greatsword. Shivers proceeded to go berserk and slaughtered almost everybody left in the camp, and was only stopped by Tusk, who was pleading for him to snap out of it as the swordsman knocked Shivers unconscious.
Damn, he didn't just kill her, he knocked me unconscious too. I remember getting knocked unconscious.
You got bonked on the head.
Son of a bitch!
And not on screen, but off screen, Tusk basically had to, like, kick the dude off and, like, take you and run.
I'm killing that white man when I find him. I swear to God.
Don't worry, he hasn't shown up in the campaign. You don't know, yeah. I'm sure he'll never come back again.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought this was a plot point that you had just quietly abandoned, and it's now really scary that I know that it's not that.
Well, I had the idea, and then I did forget for a while. There was, like, an opportunity. I was like, oh, I should do this. And then there was so much else going on. I was like, okay, I'll get to this eventually. And here we are. So
It's just scary to know that that's still somewhere.
After Shiver spent a moment grieving, he joined back up with Kieran and Jasmine, and the three of them then met back up with Jordan and Maisie. And as they were headed to meet up with them at the fighting pits, Joran picked up on the fact that Valkyra is with the Jackals and gave her a very subtle warning that if she was in trouble or if she was hurt, to go to the arts district. And just gave her, like, a subtle warning to hopefully, you guys never saw her again, but in just the blind hope that you might be able to save someone's life. And then Shivers walked in, meeting up with Valkyra, and after learning that she didn't win her fight, with no other context given, said she should get some lessons from his friend Joran, who's a great fighter, and Valkyra punched the shit out of him. Full knocked him on the ground.
I forgot all about that. That shit was really funny. I think Joran said if I recall, Joran said that the one was allowed, but if she threw any more, it was going to be a problem. But she was allowed the one.
Yeah. Even
funny.
Joran, I think, recognized, like, yeah, she probably was upset by what Shiver said.
Funny. To be fair, it was the most unintentionally dickish statement maybe ever said.
It absolutely was, and to people who don't know Shiver's thing, that is kind of a dickish thing to do.
Okay, quiz time for the audience, though. Was I fucking right or was I right, though?
However, the fighting pits, you realized, were actually the place to go, as Shivers went to confront Tusk, who was there with another group of jackals watching the fights. And again, another one of those speeches I'm really sad was lost. Shivers gave Tusk hope that he wasn't lost. It's not too late, and they can still try to put their family back together and to fix things. That, yes, all these bad things happened, but Shivers is still here, standing in front of him. And that if they make a go to escape the jackals, then they can try to build something new. And Tusk, initially very, unconvinced, started to slowly see the logic in his words, and seeing a new side of Shivers that, prior to the amnesia, I don't think he ever saw. And it was enough to convince Tusk to go with him and to make a plan to escape the jackals. specifically after Shivers pointed out that it is not a matter of if, but when it kills Foxhound and the rest of them. Being involved in this gang is nothing but perpetuating a circle of violence, and how it was each other that kept their family safe. So Tusk agreed, and they made a plan to meet up the next day. And then it was also revealed that Tusk does know something about the attack, not any specifics, but will offer what help he can when they do more planning at Maisie's clinic the day after. Fighting done, all of that over with, they head back to the Dastardly Bunny Tavern, where Kieran begins his investigation of who stole Jorn's gold. And in his investigations learns of some regulars that frequented the bar that were there the night she was robbed. And Kieran is dead set on finding them and making the racists pay, as, is understandable. So you guys rest. The next day, the party splits to... Where did my notes go? Holy moly. The party splits to prepare for the reported uprising. Maisie went to meet with the other Patchers in Barren Sands, notably an older man, Wilbur, from the Arts District, who works closely with the temple to Perdita,
Wilbur.
to start gathering supplies and to kind of set up the tent in the area beforehand. And also enlisting the help of Ingrid, a Patcher from the housing district, who works as a midwife and works with families and illnesses that arise. But she was not able to convince the Patcher from the Docks district, who is trying to remain neutral due to the position that they're in the Docks district, primarily working with jackals. They viewed it as too much of a risk.
Fair enough.
And then Kieran, Jasminder, Joran, Shivers, and Sabine all went to the blacksmith to get leather armor and a crossbow for Sabine, as well as a dagger and a sheath to then spend the day practicing and teaching her how to fight. And then after they get Sabine set up and they start training her, Shivers, Jasminder, and Maisie then meet Tusk at Maisie's clinic later in that day to try and come up with an idea for getting him, as well as Beaker and Foxhound, out of the jackals for good.
Just to catch you up on the specifics of this plan.
Yes, please.
When they met in the fighting pit, Tusk's ultimate thing was they were not going to believe, because the plan was we were going to burn down Half-Light Hovel, the lighthouse that they all lived in, and plant something in there that implied that, at the very least, Tusk died in said fire. Now, Shivers came up with an effective but not great plan, which is that Tusk would have to give up a hand, like his actual hand. Which is why Maisie was involved, because Maisie's probably the only person that could do something like that in a sort of clean and fitting way. It was the best plan he felt he had at the time. Keone at least suggested out of character, but Jasminder might have suggested in character.
Oh god, I remember this now.
That we play off his tattoo. That's like a really large tattoo of a wolf, across one of his pectoral muscles. To which everyone present in the room, even including Shivers, who did come up with the plan to get rid of his hand, was like, man, that does not sound like a good idea.
So many ideas were...
We ultimately settled on, I think, just some personal effects.
I'm just saying,
to be left
this
in the
day,
building.
Taking off a little skin graft is not as bad as missing his whole hand.
It's not a little. It's like a lot of skin graft.
And it was more the way
Also,
in which
you
it was
have to think
suggested.
about. Imagine being a jackal and being like, "Oh yeah, he must have died. His entire body burned up except for this one section of his fucking tit with this wolf tattoo on it. It's just stayed for whatever reason."
The idea was going to be that, that would kind of suffer some burns in the fire. But we had never even made it that far, so.
In retrospect, it was a terrible plan. I'm just going to be honest.
No,
it was a
you're
really
correct.
terrible plan all around.
It was a terrible plan.
Not a good plan.
The
Thank
better,
God Maisie was there.
Yeah, Maisie really came in clutch with the much better plan of having him give up Promise's hairpin, which he had kept on his person as a token of her memory. So the plan then became to plant.
You're not in this fucking campaign. Get away from me.
To plant the hairpin on a dead member of the Silver Watch, and make it look like it was a trophy taken from Tusk's dead body. So then, after
Thank God for smart people.
After the plan was established, the party headed to the tunnels that Kieran stumbled upon, where he had run into Red previously, and they went through and cleared it out to make way to evacuate Foxhound, Beaker, Tusk, Beatty's siblings, and Sabine, with Beatty staying to help Maisie in the med tent.
I was piggybacking one
Weren't
of
there
Beatty's little
ropers
brothers.
in there?
Weren't there who?
Like, because we had to clear it out. And for
There
some
weren't
reason,
ropers. There were horrible creatures.
Yes, there were creatures.
But they weren't ropers.
You did clear out. You killed them quite handedly. And made it out to the other side, outside the city.
They were very toothy and spiky and razory, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And not ropers?
And you guys...
They were not ropers.
You guys spent the rest of the day training Sabine, though you did leave her behind, just in case the tunnel is still infested with beasts or angry gang members the day of, to have her there to protect the much younger, like, brothers, and Foxhound, who is already pretty, like, she is also primed to defend, but Beaker is essentially a non-combatant. His skills are entirely within healing, so trusting that Foxhound and Sabine will help keep them safe. Inside the tunnels, you guys found crates of supplies as well. It was Kruthix that you guys ran into. Little, messed up, like, little fucked up creatures.
Yeah, they were kind of like bugs, but they were also kind of like dogs.
Yeah, and you guys, Kieran made fire arrows with some of the supplies you guys found, and Jorn made sure to mark the way with chalk, so that, everybody would be able to find themselves, with a way to go in and out pretty easily.
Thank God for smart people. Honestly, we wouldn't have made it as far through this leg of the campaign that we're in now if Jorn wasn't in our party alive and helping us.
So you guys did find the Kruthic Hive Queen, which I don't think you knew that it was the queen, but you killed her before she could call for reinforcements, which was...
Thank God.
That was actually... You guys did a really good job in that fight. And with her dead, the rest of them would have to find a new queen and hive, thus successfully clearing out the tunnels for evacuation. As you guys led the non-combatants and Sabine and Foxhound through, you chatted a bit more with Beatty, and she opened up about how her parents were dead, and that was why she's the sole caretaker for, like, her 3 brothers.
Fuck yeah, Beatty.
And she actually came from a clan that had a tentative agreement with the Devils for peace, but then something happened. She was just a child, and she was forced to flee with her brothers across the sea to Barren Sands.
Wow, a lot.
Yeah, and then there were several other heart-to-hearts, specifically between Maisie and Beatty. Maisie, who feels terrible about having to put all of this responsibility on Beatty, in addition to her being the sole caretaker. But Beatty assured her that she loves being able to heal and loves being able to feel like she can genuinely help people. And then there was another emotional conversation with Shivers, Foxhound, and Beaker. As Foxhound, I believe, was nervous about the entire situation. And especially nervous about Shivers leaving again. And as to whether he would come back after the confrontation.
Crazy enough, that never leaves her. It's almost like trauma. Oh no.
No, it could. Oh my god, the number of times that this is a very specific situation keeps happening to her.
Say it with me. Hashtag get over it.
Like, do not say that. She is she's
Hashtag
a
get
severely
over it.
traumatized 15-year-old
Well,
who has some serious
just lock
attachment
in.
issues.
she should just lock in.
She's not able to lock in. She is very emotionally unstable.
This fucking unlocked child.
um, oh, and so with all the folks taken to a relative safe location, you guys returned to town, where Joran and Kieran pointed Joran towards the racist thieves. There was a confrontation there, and she eventually scared them off by, I read this from my notes, breaking a chair leg from under one of the men, and in retaliation, he splashed his drink on Joran before they all left.
Free drink, if you think about it, depending on where it hit.
It just hit everywhere. She wasn't able to drink it. It got splashed on her.
If it was everywhere, some of it went around her lips.
Yeah. Fucking rough time for Joran. Anyway, preparations begin the next morning for conflict.
So much better.
Preparations begin the next morning, that they know the attacks are going to happen, with Maisie setting up her finishing preparations for the safe zone along with Beatty, and the others taking point to keep trouble from breaking out as violence begins to break out near the gates of the city. The injured begin to come in, that are being brought forth from the gang war that broke out. Both civilians, Silverwatch, and Jackals all. And Maisie and Beatty immediately start running triage to help keep up with the injured. And much to the surprise of the party, one of the injured that is brought forth is Victory herself, with a massive stab wound in her back, and she is on the brink of death. And it's very clear, too, from the nature of the injury, that the attack was not from her front, it was not what she expected, but from someone she trusted to have her back. And somebody from the Watch who was still loyal to her brought her in, but immediately warned the party that the person who had attacked Victory was on their heels, and indeed he was. None other than Therogar. And he shows up, and he... In case people don't remember, because it was like one of the first prologues.
This is like one of the first guys.
No, he was the one who took Joran's horn.
Yeah.
Having chopped it off in one of the first episodes as a.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's the first episode of Shattered Land.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yes. But it was revealed that he was the one who turned his back on Victory as well.
It was the third.
And the party then engaged in battle, taking care of the smaller threat of the Jackals, trying to break into the tent immediately to go after Victory. But then they are quickly faced with Therogar and engage in combat with him. To which Joran is struck down, stabbed in the chest after she falls to the ground unconscious and is killed. This immediately sends...
To set this up for you, audience. Close your eyes. There is Joran, Shivers, Jasminder, just sort of all in a triangle of violence, okay? Opposite that triangle of violence is Theragar and two other dudes that were basically an opposite triangle of violence, and they were all just sort of going at it. Maisie was exactly 35 feet away from Joran. Shivers had blinded that man, had blinded Theragar with some of like really colorful powder that he'd picked up because we were in the arts district. And he'd put it in he'd like emptied his water skin and put it in there specifically so he could blind somebody with it. Yeah. So he blinded somebody with it. Hello. He blinded someone with it. He blinded Theragar with it.
Yep.
And Theragar. I believe Theragar critted through it.
Yep.
knocked Joran down. Maisie was exactly 35 feet away, so she could get within 5 feet to be able to heal her when the turn rounded back around. And then, however, unfortunately, at least 2 of the guardsmen could go before. So they went, and one of those guardsmen, loyal to Theraguard and listening to his orders, stabbed stabbed Joran to super death.
Yep. And as she falls, Joran Joran dies. The rest of the party flies into basically a rage. And in my notes, it was.
I think Jasminder murders that man.
It was kind of honestly a mixture of all 3 of you guys, from what I remember. You guys immediately.
I think Shivers literally went for his corpse.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I know Kieran cut the head off his corpse and used it to create a warning pike on the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prior to that, I think Jasminder beat his face in.
Yeah, she beat his face in.
It was
Kieran
a rough time.
Cut his head off.
Probably.
Shivers stabbed the shit out of him and then stabbed the shit out of his corpse.
Bad time for that dude.
Yeah. And then after the fighting is done, you guys easily dispatch the other less powerful watch members. Yeah. And Maisie goes off to break down and sob.
I vividly remember that Jasminder was crying, and then Shivers was hugging her, and then she was crying, or he was crying as well. So there's a lot of crying occurring.
Kieran was up on the rooftop, like, I think he had been going. Yeah, he was dad mode. He was like firing with his strobo like from above. And I have a note that he just like slid down the wall and like basically like just collapsed and held his bow to himself.
He was punching the wall, listening to Shine Down, wondering why not him.
Oh, but after
why won't you take me, God?
after Joran fell, the fighting and with Theragar's fall, the fighting mostly calmed down, and Kieran made sure to tie Victory to the bed before she wakes, just so she didn't try anything.
This is true.
And Red, who Kieran had met...
She couldn't have, by the way. Just in case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just for the audience. One of the world's most stabbed women in this moment.
Literally inches
so
from death.
Incredibly injured.
Like, she had been stabbed brutally in the back, had almost bled to death, and was... for a good while, just straight unconscious. But y'all were like, nah, we're gonna tie her to the bed and make sure she does not fucking move.
She could barely walk for like 3 weeks.
Barely able to, like, move on her own. Yeah, it was bad.
Love you, Victory, anyway.
After that, you guys, all properly met Red, as she came to the med tent to speak with Victory. And to update them on the situation, revealing herself as an agent of the Viridian Society, working with Sarah, not just, like, a random merc that Kieran thought she was.
Fuck, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, but Red came to speak with Victory. Seeing she was unconscious, however, she did let the party know that the fighting had begun to die down, and the Silver Watch wasn't just attacked by the Jackals, but had suffered a betrayal from within their own ranks that left them fractured and drove Asher, Victory's second-hand man, from the city with the rest of the survivors. The party told Red to go follow him and let him know that Sabine is safe and to find Kieran. And Red, in turn, let them know to find Sarah later. And some fun little off-screen backstage events. Asher actually ran into Sabine as she was helping Foxhound keep a lookout. and the two had a conversation about what happened, and he promised to come back once they had tended to the wounded at camp, and he wanted to settle the grudge between the two groups, since the Watch is a shadow of what it once was after the fighting and after how many were killed. The Jackals, meanwhile, were celebrating Victory's defeat and the defeat of the Watch, claiming the city once more. Additionally, off-screen, Tusk got caught in a brutal fight, but was able to find an opening and plant the token from Promise on an unrecognizable body, slipping out to join those outside the city in a very tearful reunion with Foxhound and Beaker, where they awaited the rest of the party, and for the storm to pass. The party left Jorn's body in the care of the temple, and with a priest named Father Gray. The party then reconvened to go meet up with the Half-Lights, where they see that Tusk survived and was talking with Foxhound and Beaker. Shivers ran over and embraced all of them. His family survived and all tearfully reunited again, free of the Jackals.
And nothing traumatic ever happened to any of them again.
No, totally not. But before Maisie could explain, because Sabine immediately asked where Joran was, Maisie, not even able to get a word out, Sabine put it together and immediately started sobbing, falling into a very long hug with Maisie. The Half-Lights decided to stay in camp outside of the city in the aftermath, feeling it unsafe to return after escaping so soon. Beatty's brothers and Sabine followed the group back into the city through the front gates. And then once they were back in the city, Kieran and Maisie went to go see a recovering Victory, who had been left in Beatty's care during their absence. Kieran went first, but wasn't able to make much progress in getting her to even acknowledge him. Maisie, however, immediately called her on the cycle of violence that she had helped perpetuate, saying that Joran, because she had given her life, had given Victory a chance she did not deserve at another life.
Yeah, we kind of all pitched in and popped off.
Yeah, and it started to get her attention, but just barely. And it wasn't until Sabine came into the tent that the energy shifted. She immediately slapped Victory and started punching her. She even went to stab her before she was physically held back by the group and shown support.
Oh, God.
She, more than any of the others in the group, had really... she had known Joran before the rest of the party and had looked up to her as like an inspirational figure of this strong fighter who was always there for other people and protected them. So to hear that Joran died because she had been protecting Victory broke her. And the group then, of course, all rallied around Sabine, supporting her as Shivers stepped forward to speak to Victory and said that she had a chance to change, that she would not get another, even if she didn't deserve it. Maisie stayed behind as the group went to the temple to pay their respects again with Sabine in tow. They met with Father Gray as he was performing funerary rites for Joran, and Sabine broke down sobbing again. Jasmine, Kieran, and Shivers all supported her, mourning right alongside her. Shivers brought Joran's horn forward, having taken it off of Theragar's body after they slew him, and they returned it to Joran as it should have been. Father Gray helps comfort them, introducing himself and offering them food and memorial candles to light in her memory. Maisie, meanwhile, stayed behind with Victory, as Red came by again, hoping to speak with Victory once again, then explaining to Maisie that the two were half-sisters and grew up together. Maisie stopped her until she agreed to leave her sword behind, and Maisie kept a careful eye over both of them, watching them out of listening distance as they spoke quietly together. As Red left, Maisie left her with a message that if Sarah can't step up and be a better mother, Maisie is planning to adopt Sabine instead. Red, very amused, agrees and headed out again. Immediate friendship points with Red. And the party all met back up and finally got some rest for the night after an extremely long day, with Shivers going back out once more to join the Half-Lights for the night. That night, Jasmine had dreams of the caves underneath the mines and of her mother singing. Waking, she took the orb into the closet to not wake Sabine and, while communing with it, was able to regain her air genasi appearance.
Y'all ever just commune in a
I
closet with an
forgot.
orb?
I forgot that this was the advent of her becoming blue.
Yeah, she turned blue again. Well, as air genasi, I suppose. In this world, I have altered it slightly, half elemental. Regain her half elemental appearance, and as you guys call it, go blue mode. And Sabine, waking to Jasminder just fully gone from the room, went to get Kieran and Maisie in a hunt to try and track her down. Though it didn't take them long to just find Jasminder asleep in the closet. So Kieran and Sabine went to go fetch Shivers from the camp and walked in on Tusk, reminiscing with the others about some drunken bender he, Shivers, and Promise went on. As the half-lights were in good spirits once again for the first time in a long time.
As we remain for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't ever change. Shivers agreed to come back, and once they were all in the same place again, they discussed Jasminder's blueness and the strange orb that Jasminder had been carrying since the incident in the mines. It was at this time that Jasminder opened up about her father being an elemental being of pure air, trapped here after the shattering, a Jinn. And she confessed to believing that if they brought magic back, her father will return, having left her and her mother. And Sabine, ever the scholar, offered additional information about how any being from another plane, specifically the plane of hell, the celestial plane, elemental, or fae, would have all been trapped here if they were on this plane during the shattering when magic disappeared. And that she also gave the horrifying fact that if these elemental beings died without magic having returned, their like essence or their spirit would just vanish, unable to be reborn or to live on. And the party decided not to tell Sarah about the orb.
Sarah was entering her untrustworthy era around this point.
I should have gotten Wes to come back because I'm about to introduce Avon and Cassidy, because this is about the time that they come on the scene.
Yeehaw, rootin' tootin'.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, did Sarah actually do something to warrant suspicion, or is this just a group that inherently
It wasn't
is
that
suspicious
she was
of any kind of authoritative figure? Or
I think it was less that she was suspicious and more that she was a bad mom.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys would recall that the reason that you basically adopted Sabine was because Sarah was a very restrictive parent who was all but unwilling to let Sabine do anything on her own.
She was awful in the sense of her being way too overprotective in a world and land that would not afford that kind of sheltering.
Absolutely. And welcome, West, to the recap episode. I apologize, the title card will not have your name on it, but welcome all the same. We're mid recap, and literally perfect timing, because I'm about to describe Avon and Cassidy's entrance as they come onto the scene, having gotten word from Sarah about potential work from the Viridian Society in Barren Sands. And it was as they headed to the library to meet Sarah, only moments before the party runs into them as well. Kieran was immediately somewhat startled at the insignia on Avon's armor. I will also describe Avon and Cassidy are two human women. Avon very clearly a heavily armored knight, and Cassidy. West, I'll let you describe Cassidy, because I don't know if I can do it justice.
Cassidy is, by all definitions, appearance-wise, a perfect match for Izeth. A long-coated, dusty, wide-brimmed hat-wearing, and gun-toting prospector who comes into town alongside Avon, who By stark contrast, looks like an absolute saint of a woman. Cassie looks like an absolute bastard with a grin on her face to match at any moment. That's Cassidy for you.
That's actually really good. Yeah, you have the bastard and the like. If in a world of magic, would have been a paladin, basically.
The sinner and the saint,
Yes.
side by side.
God. Okay. Why am I doing this recap? Like, what the hell? That's really good. But yes, everybody meets up together, and Sarah tells them of a rumor of a mine in Crookstone that is rumored to be near one of the ley lines that has been driving people inexplicably mad. And she wanted to know if there were any traces of magic, and to check and to have somebody who is able to check in with her contacts in the city. As she also has some agents of the Viridian Society there as well, should the party need assistance. And accompanying them would be 2 agents of the Viridian Society, Red, as mentioned before, and Victos, who they would meet, who actually the party would not realize in that moment, but somebody they've already met.
Squad.
The 2 of them would assist in keeping the growing caravan safe on the road to Crookstone. And it is at this point that Sabine mentioned that she also would like to join them in going to Crookstone. And Sarah seemed for a moment as though she wanted to object to Sabine's request, but eventually relented and looked rather dejected at realizing how much Sabine had grown up without her realizing, and also the realization that nothing that she said would stop Sabine. So at that, Sarah dismissed the party, saying that they will meet up with the 2 Viridian Society agents when they leave the city, and that they will be waiting for them. And during the meeting, Kieran continually stares down Avon, suspicious. So after the meeting is dismissed, Kieran stayed behind to actually speak with Sarah and apologize to her. He also promised to keep Sabine safe. And in lieu of coin payment, Shivers asked the librarian at the front desk if he could take his payment in books. And so he took a bunch of books and spent the rest of the day getting coffee and reading like a fucking nerd.
He still has these books.
He does. He's
actually like a really well-read guy at this point.
Oh yeah, no, because I mean, you guys had that. Spoiler. You had a bunch of time to read. So,
Yeah.
In that time, Cassidy also got some scrap metal to make bullets in preparation to leave. And Jasminder and Sabine took a spa day at the bathhouse together. Because they'd been through a lot, to put it, like, mildly.
Just a bit.
Yeah. But you guys had a girls' day, and you had a great time. So after...
Nothing like a mani-pedi after your friend gets shot to death by a racist.
You've got no choice at that point.
Government mandated, man.
Listen, if you don't take care of yourself, who will? Like,
Self-care.
it's self-care. You gotta care for yourself, even racked with grief. But on the side, Avon, having noticed, which, by the way, Avon is Nick's character, she played Joran, and since Joran died, that Avon is their new character. Avon sought Kieran out as he headed to the markets to clear the somewhat awkward air between them, and he asked about her armor and whether she was still affiliated with the Order of the Phoenix Rose, which is like the symbol on her armor. To which she says that she was once affiliated with them, but is not currently an active member. Kieran also asks about Fliarn, the Baroness of Crookstone, and tried to gauge Avon's opinion of her. But Avon had a fairly neutral stance and didn't really know much about her, having kept more to the Order and the church outside of just outside of the city. But the two parted on more friendly terms, with Kieran finally trusting that she had no ulterior motives. Maisie then broke from the party to go check on with Beatty and Victory. And upon some reflection, when she met back up with the party, she announced that she would not be going with them to Crookstone, as she wished to stay here and help Beatty teach Beatty and to help the people of the city rebuild after the attack. And once back at her clinic, she had a heart-to-heart with Victory about second chances, and that she would talk with the party about getting her out of the city with them, since it was very likely if she stayed that she would just be killed as soon as she was found out by the officials, as she had a huge target on her back. Injured even as she was the leader of the Silver Watch, which their hands were not clean. Her hands are not clean. And then later that night, I did write down, Beatty went off and had a day off, and had a small date with Sabine before she left.
Probably her last day off. Probably ever.
Yeah. The Sabine, who is, to this day, not headed back to Barren Sands. Oops. It's fine. They had a nice time. As much as she could, while Sabine was still knee-deep in grief.
Things happen.
Yeah. And with that...
I'm now realizing that Sabine is pulling mad honeys, yo.
What?!
We'll get there. But understand,
That's
Sabine
true. We
is
will get
pulling
there.
mad honeys, yo.
She just has that effect on people. Anyway, the others headed out to check on the companions camped outside of the city, only to find the Half-Lights in a bit of a standoff with Red and Victos. And the party then realizes Victos, the name that Sarah mentioned, the Viridian Society agent, was the Frostborn man who they had met in the jail in episode 1 as the man who was imprisoned and kind of refused to speak to them. And,
literally my best friend.
And instead spoke in a foreign language, thinking that they would just ignore him. Like, oh, that guy doesn't speak, like, the trade tongue. What can we do? Like...
He's gang.
He's a fucking nerd. Anyway.
He's queer.
Yeah! Oh, spoiler alert. Everybody is. Anyway, the tensions were easily smoothed over once the situation was explained, and that Red and Victos were indeed with them and with the Viridian Society, and we're going to be traveling with them to Crookstone, with the
And nobody else.
And
caravan complete.
Yeah, the caravan just keeps growing. Because the Half-Lights were also able to come as well on the caravan to escape the city and to escape the jackals, since it was now a jackal-controlled city. And surely, the jackals in the north don't communicate all that much with the jackals in the south, so there won't be any confusion.
The pigeons are slow.
It's like half a month. It's like half a month by foot.
As the crow flies.
Half a month as the crow flies. So in continuing to prepare for the journey, Maisie sought out Father Gray to ask him to join the caravan in her place. That was Cody's other character, to look out for them. And he agreed and took his ward, Benji, to go meet with the others.
I forgot about Benji.
Yeah. Okay. On the morning before they leave, Kieran, Shivers, Jasminder, Sabine, and Maisie all went to go see Jorn's grave to say goodbye, and found not too far off from where Promise's grave was. There's a graveyard with a beautiful spot overlooking the ocean shore, and there was a lot of crying and a lot of tears, a lot of grief, in a very emotionally charged moment. Especially as they prepare to leave for the next leg of their journey. And with preparations nearly done, Maisie brought Victory, who's still very injured, to be secretly loaded onto Avon's cart, since most of the others already had full carts or were very likely to kill her. Nobody liked Victory coming along. Everybody disliked that, but they ultimately gave the decision to Sabine, and thinking about everything that Victory had done and who was the most affected, I suppose, by Victory's actions, and in a much more merciful moment, having time to grieve and be supported, Sabine made the decision to agree. And she was not happy about it, but she ultimately came to the conclusion that she would honor Jorn's sacrifice, and what Victory did with her life was up to her, but it wasn't. But she would go along with, honoring Jorn's last actions to protect the neutral area. And Maisie says her goodbyes to the party, and offers, before they leave, she gives Shivers some medicine to help with his withdrawals, which she says will get quite bad on the road with further time away from having taken the drug. And with that, the long journey to Crookstone begins, with Victory, Jasminder, Shivers, Kieran, Cassidy, Avon, Sabine, the Half-Lights, Tusk, Foxhound, and Beaker, Father Gray and his apprentice Benji, and Red and Victos, the agents from the Viridian Society. Red and Victos, the agents. And
Jesus.
And no Jesus. A quite large caravan. Immediately as you guys set out on the road, Shivers approached Victory and attempted to reason with her, telling her that he would keep the Half-Lights away from her, since they, in part, still blame her for the death of Promise at the hands of a Silverwatch fighter. He tells her to keep her hood flipped up, so naturally she flipped him off. And, confused, Shivers asked Avon about what it means when somebody does that, and she very diplomatically responded that it's the end of a conversation. This will not come back to haunt Shivers at all.
It came back quite fast, if I recall.
It was literally like the day or two later.
Yeah.
So a day later, it came back to haunt Shivers.
Literally. But it was almost immediately that the Half-Lights realized that they were indeed traveling with Victory, the former leader of the Silver Watch, and it went terribly.
It was like an hour in.
It was like, I don't remember how it happened, but yeah, all of a sudden they noticed Victory was there, and Tusk very diplomatically tried to calm the other two down from literally shooting Victory. Because, Foxhound and Beaker were ready to kill. And Tusk was, despite his own frustrations with Victory, was sound of mind and mature enough to realize this is not the time or place for this. So baby steps. Kieran tried to get to know Red and Victos a bit, offering them a drink as he asked questions about Sarah and the Viridian Society, and subtly picked up that neither of them like her very much, and don't seem to be entirely forthright about why they've joined them on their caravan. I wrote down my notes. Mealtimes are more tense than Thanksgiving dinners during election years. And once most of the others go to bed, Kieran, Shivers, and Jasminder fill in Father Gray, Cassidy, and Avon on the situation they're in, and why Victory is antagonizing and being antagonized by everyone in the caravan. And then, before setting out the next day, Kieran, going dad mode, took Sabine and Foxhound hunting at sunrise.
Oh yeah, this is the start of this is the start of Kieran trying to do what would I even describe this as? Like distant redemptive fathering.
Yes. He tries so hard. And he doesn't do a bad job. There's just one of the girls that he has a significantly more successful time with than the other.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Because one of them is an
Not his
abnormal
fault.
freak.
No, it's not Kieran's fault. At all.
It's my fault.
That day, after some antagonizing between Victory, it was more Victory being frustrated with Avon, she decided to ride with Father Gray instead, but was immediately enlisted to help make egg noodles in the back of a cart with a bunch of chickens. And the speed at which she regretted her decision is unmatched to this day. And then, as they're on the road that day, Kieran pulled Shivers aside for a brief conversation about Foxhound and Kieran's concern over her violent tendencies and apathy.
It's fine.
As just noted during the hunting that Sabine was a little reluctant to pull the trigger on the crossbow to kill something, and Foxhound did it immediately without issue, and with a little bit too much excitement. That's exactly the image, West. But though Kieran admitted to having felt similarly to her in the past and to hearing voices, and proposed the great idea that Foxhound make friends outside of the Half-Lights. Shivers confirmed that Foxhound has been through a lot, and it would be very good for her to make friends, but it wouldn't be easy, to put it lightly. And then as their conversation ends, Shivers flips Kieran off and clarifies that it was Avon that told him that's how you end a conversation after Victory did it to him.
Oh my god.
Kieran facing the brunt of all of Shivers' social ineptitude. God. I have it written in my notes that Kieran needs a nap. Oh.
Good God.
The next day, on the road, the party was attacked by a family of dire cougars. And that's when the party finds out that Cassidy uses guns after she blows one of the brains of the cougars out. And they were turned into dinner that night, the cougars were. Where both Red and Victos confessed to having elemental abilities revealed during the fight. And then after dinner, Red and Victory got into a fight over something incredibly petty that escalated very quickly, with Victory jabbing at how their mother never loved her. Red nearly tore Victory to pieces, but was held back by Shivers and Father Gray, with Cassidy helping to defuse the situation. Red flew off for the night to cool her head. She came back at sunrise when Avon had been taking all of her watches, and the two got to know each other as Avon helped patch some of her wounds from the earlier fight with the cougars.
Lesbians.
The next day, the caravan runs into jackals running an extortion gig across a broken bridge. Cassidy almost immediately resorts to violence, but Avon steps in and is able to talk everyone down and convince the jackals to let them pass. Because that's just how Avon is. However, as they're
I do want to make it... I do want to make it clear that it was not so much that Cassidy was immediately resorting to violence as Cassidy was, in the backwards way, proposing against violence whilst really, really wanting it to turn to violence.
Yeah. However, as they moved past the jackals got a glimpse at Victory in the back of the cart, as Avon tried in vain to get them to look the other way. This prompted a conversation between Kieran and Victory, in which he says that she needs to cut her hair and remove her jewelry, as they're very clear identifiers of her identity. And she seemed unusually she's usually reluctant and stubborn, but she was especially so about both of these. But after Kieran pressed a little further, she admitted she liked to hold on to the jewelry because they were gifts from her mother. Later that night, the caravan was ambushed by jackals, surprise, surprise, empowered by the thought of catching Victory and being the one to kill her. One even beelined for her tent to try and take her out himself, but was caught by Avon, who had given Victory a dagger to protect herself as the fighting had started. Victory hesitated when going to give the dagger back to Avon after she asked for it, claiming that she should be able to defend herself. Avon brings up trust and read her for absolute filth, pointing out the reason that they were all attacked that night was because of her. And she made a convincing enough case that Victory handed the dagger back after cutting off her own braid. While looting the bodies, Kieran asked Cassidy about her guns, and she mentioned that she got it from Tregor, and that she's a prospector who travels there on occasion to bring back supplies and new technology, as Tregor was more technologically advanced than the other nations. Having a moment to herself, Jasmine once again attempts to commune with the orb, but was interrupted by Red and Victos, who are very surprised at seeing what she has. Jasmine is shocked that they seem to know what it is, but they explain that they know it's akin to a seed, and it was something that the Archmagi used as a focus for their magic, and that each of the Archmagi had one. These seeds act as conduits for magic, and that somehow, despite the absence of magic, this one has begun to awaken. Red, very curious, asked to see the orb, Despite her and Victos knowing about them, they have yet to actually see one in person. However, as she reached for it, Red's body became slightly transformed, hands turning into scaled claws, and her features becoming monstrous. At this point, the rest of the party and Sabine are alerted to it as Victos grabs her and yanks her back, stopping the transformation. Victos attempts to explain that they have been given a gift by mysterious patrons, but something ancient and binding prevents them from speaking their names or nature aloud. Through a bit of clever thinking from Cassidy, however, she asked the two of them to draw out what their patrons look like. While Victos' art skills leave something to be desired, Red's drawing was a little clearer, showing a dragon-like being. And very quietly, Avon picked up a hint of familiar religious iconography from the drawing, similar to something she had seen. At that point, the party began to question their trust, and Kieran asked how they even knew that the two of them wouldn't just run off with the orb while they were sleeping. Red says that they would have taken it as soon as they saw Jasminder with it, but Victos cuts in, saying that they do genuinely want to help people, and they see the party as a way to help on a grander scale than Sarah's narrow-sighted vision for the Viridian Society, rather than viewing all of the problems like sort of interconnected. Sabine seems to struggle quite a bit hearing that last part, but without any other real arguments, they set out on the road again. Everybody gets hit with a sunburn debuff.
I did not. I tanked this. I remember this.
Yeah, I think Shivers succeeded. I don't remember who else did. I know Sabine and Foxhound both failed.
Yeah, they did.
It was a con save. I remember this.
Yeah. And so after that night, after the sun had gone down and everybody was silently suffering, or not so silently, Jasminder went around the camp offering oatmeal to help with the burns, which prior to this, did not realize that oatmeal could be could be used to help sunburns. Is this true?
I'm pretty sure this is true.
Hold on.
Black. I don't get sunburns.
Can you heal? Well, as we discussed, I mean, I don't know why you would say that. Just this white woman, but that's
no,
like neither here nor there, I guess.
God.
It's actually RCTA. I have RCTA black.
Hold on.
You know what? I'm proud of you guys. You went an hour, according to my time. You went an hour.
Home remedies for mild cases of sunburn include bathing in cool water and colloidal oatmeal baths, whatever the fuck that is. Colloidal?
Who knows?
Colloidal is a type of oatmeal.
I saw some white people using oatmeal one time.
I did not know
Her
that.
family that she's related to as a white woman, as we've discussed.
No.
RCTA. RCTA.
I don't know what that shit means, brother.
Race change to another.
Well, I did. Huh? I never heard of that.
Why does that need an abbreviation? To another is such a bad.
It's not good.
Oatmeal. Get back on it.
Okay, yes, oatmeal. Jasminder went around the camp and offered everybody oatmeal for their burns. Sabine, of course, took it very gratefully. She started with the two teenagers. So Sabine took it gratefully, but Foxhound was horribly confused as to why she was being offered oatmeal and got very defensive because she didn't know why Jasminder was being so nice to her and continued.
Stupid traumatized child.
She peppered her with questions about, like, why offer it to me? What do you want? Why are you so fucking nice? There were a lot of explicatives. And tried to escape to just eat the oatmeal, despite Foxhound being one of the worst burned. And Jasminder followed, genuinely trying to connect to Foxhound.
Y'all want to talk about a goddamn white girl? Let's talk about Foxhound. Born in the goddamn mountains, Foxhound over here.
Jasminder followed, genuinely trying to connect to Foxhound, but Foxhound is a petty 15-year-old, and
she just kept following her.
Yeah, and to piss everybody off, Foxhound dumped the oatmeal on Victory, and it upset nearly everyone as she was.
I don't think she dumped it. I think she threw it.
She threw it.
Yeah.
Like she full on like whomped it in Victory's head.
Yeah, it didn't go well. I think I have written down, she got literally grabbed and dragged away by Shivers and Kieran. They literally
Shivers brought
dragged her
Kieran
away.
over. I remember this. He was like, "You have to come help me, Dad, right now."
Real, like, Dad, help me deal with my little sister.
Fucking
She's
for
being
real.
insane.
Fucking for real.
Foxhound was given a very stern talking to, and they sat her down to explain that she cannot keep acting out like this, and though she might not like it, Victory posed literally no threat to them right now, and was an unarmed, very seriously injured woman, like, in like, trying to flee a dangerous situation. And the conversation continued to go back and forth, quite aggravated. But Kieran somehow in the conversation dropped a hint that he hears voices and sees ghosts, and immediately Foxhound was like, her attention was diverted, and point of connection.
I think somehow Shivers revealed this because we were in the era where Shivers was preaching Kieran's business to everybody.
That's true. There was absolutely no privacy when it came to Shivers. And Foxhound was immediately interested and admitted that she does too. Hear people and see ghosts. And so she took out one of the sigils that she draws. She draws sigils for protections. It's also revealed that one of Shivers' tattoos is one of the protective sigils that Foxhound draws. And that's a story for later. But Foxhound gives Kieran one of the protective sigils, and he in turn promises to take her hunting the next morning. And the situation is de-escalated as the two kind of start to find some common ground. Meanwhile, a Victory, in the aftermath of getting oatmealed, is talking with Jasminder and Avon, with Jasminder helping to clear out Victory's hair and clean the oatmeal from it. And I have written down it was also the first time that Victory gave an honest-to-God thank you to Avon. Like, a genuine thank you. And she defrosts around Avon and Jasminder just a little bit. Starting to break through the bitch. She's very bitchy. Like, I don't think my notes do it justice how many prickly personalities were in this caravan. Yes, Keone?
I said the answer is just all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not prickly.
That's true. Shivers isn't prickly, and neither. Well, okay, some of the party, but not the party, but the NPCs.
I suppose it depends on the person.
Yeah. But that night during the watches, Kieran and Victos talked about losing their partners, the sad dad moment, even though Victos isn't a dad. Kieran mentioned losing his wife to illness, and how Victos lost his husband to illness, and how he had met his husband after parting ways with his people. And Kieran mentioned his daughter, who was still in Crookstone, and together the two of them drink and share a quiet, broody moment. The next day, camp was packed up. Victos, Avon, Kieran, and Cassidy all got bit by snakes and got high from the poison. From the venom, rather, with Victos rolling a natural 1 and going near comatose for the rest of the day. God, that man had such a terrible time.
Yeah.
Chaos reigned as they all reacted differently to the venom, with Red trying to prank a comatose Victos, Avon struggling to drive the cart before finally being relieved so she could lay down, Cassidy literally belting out into song on top of the cart, and Kieran literally bolting off into the middle of the desert.
Oh, God.
You remember?
I remember.
Yeah.
I went and chased him down.
Yeah, Shivers immediately followed and ran him down. Even as Kieran threatened to stab him, as Kieran was very much struggling with his own visions. And Shivers literally picked him up and carried him back to the caravan. And then one of the few sober individuals, Father Gray, pointed out a group of land whales on the horizon. huge beasts that travel the desert in packs across the wastes. The wastes, which is like the stretch of sand dunes between the coast of Barren Sands and the more rocky mesas around Crookstone. The group recuperates from their adventure of being high off their asses and have a quiet night of day and travel to follow. The next night, the party is attacked by sandworms, with the party very quickly dispatching them and Cassidy pulling out literal dynamite to throw in its mouth. And that is the party finding out that Cassidy, one of the great many treasures that awaited them in Tregor, is dynamite, straight up explosions. However, after that, they have another quiet day of travel where they run into a merchant caravan and trade some clothes for some more water. And Cassidy warned them of the jackals they had run into several days before, trying to extort money from people at the bridge. Kieran also buys a dress for Sabine, and Shivers asks for books, but they don't carry any, and so he's just stuck with the ones that he already has.
I was mad reading too.
Yeah.
Reading
Everybody
like hell.
makes camp that night, rotating the watches to be doubled, so they make the camp look bigger than it is to try and ward off future attacks, since at this point they are fully in the wastes and the cover is much more sparse. Another quiet day of travel passes. However, the day after, they hit a nasty sandstorm. But with Cassidy's quick thinking, she's able to fashion...
Cassidy.
Shut up. With Cassidy's quick thinking, she is able to fashion some makeshift goggles, and with the help of lanterns and some shouting, their travel is not set back by any
fuck!
delays.
I remember this shit. I was like tied between the carts.
Yeah, you guys got real creative with it. I was very proud.
I was a little 5'9" guidepost out there.
I forgot he's 5'9".
A light in the darkness.
After the storm passes and they set up camp for the night, Cassidy and Avon have a chat, where Cassidy asks what she thinks of the party so far, and a lot of the tension between them all. Avon isn't super bothered, but she's very well noticed the tension, and Cassidy also asks why Kieran was so nervous around Avon, and Avon explains that she was a member of the Order of the Phoenix Rose, a religious order just outside of Crookstone. She also mentioned, without going into too much detail, that Kieran had a bad history with them. But she's no longer an active member, she just travels and helps people where she can. Cassidy continues to press a little bit, until Avon eventually offers that they had a difference of opinion, and that the knights were usually stationed elsewhere when people needed help, and were rarely where they actually needed to be. After that, Cassidy went to chat with Victory, and got essentially hissed at after some teasing. Shivers goes later to chat with Victory as well, pulling out a map he copied from the books that he got from Sarah, and asks her about the other countries. She eventually explains that her mother, a succubus, fled from Emiya, and that of all the devils, they rely the most on contact with mortals, in physical ways, sometimes sexual, but not always. Her mother ended up as a courtesan in Barren Sands, fleeing Emiya because they were treated the worst amongst their people. And after so long cut off from magic, some of them have left Emiya to try and coexist. And in a strange moment of connection, Shivers hears her and says that people can always change. They don't always have a chance to, but that Victory's gotten one now and won't get another like it. He also talks about how he was given another chance with the Half-Lights, and though he didn't deserve it, he got it anyway. And that it doesn't matter whether or not they deserve it, but it's what they do with it, with that chance. The next day on the road, the caravan runs across a baby land shark, shaped like a pangolin with the same natural armor, but carnivorous and with very sharp teeth. And though the baby was only the size of a miniature donkey,
This is the day that I feel my suffering began.
It really was, yeah. Kieran attempted to get it to move off the road by throwing some jerky at it, which did get the creature's attention. But even with the jerky, it began to bark, alerting the adult land sharks, who came barreling in to attack the caravan. The battle is a
Cavernan.
shut up. The battle is a close one. The caravan splits as Red, Victos, Jasminder. I think you were gone that week, and the Half-Lights take one, and the party taking the other. Kieran almost became land shark food before Avon yanked him out of its jaws, and her and Shivers covered one of them. However, Kieran still gets grabbed as he goes to hide, and is nearly outright killed from the amount of damage it dealt him. Cassidy comes in to distract the beast as Avon yanks him back out as Cassidy's bullets down one of the sharks. The remaining shark does not go down without a fight, severely injuring both Cassidy and Shivers, but with a stunning blow from Avon.
It was eating me
It was.
for so goddamn long.
Shivers was all but like a chew toy for this thing.
See, the nice thing about being swallowed, though, is that it's almost impossible to miss with a gun.
And that's exactly what happened. As, though despite their injuries, Cassidy and Shivers were able to escape from it, with Cassidy shooting it to death. Both parties sustained very serious, grave injuries. Red and Victos, not so much. They had more minor injuries, but Foxhound had sustained heavier injuries after shooting one with a crossbow bolt in the eye.
Oh yeah, she got like obliterated. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. She's got a scar now along her forehead and up to her hairline. Though Shivers, the most injured in the party, is made to sit by Tusk while Beaker sews up his injuries. The two of them blatantly and definitely flirting, while Beaker spared no comfort in patching Shivers up, aka he made it painful, wanting to be literally anywhere else in that moment.
I offer a quandary to you, audience. Did he make it painful, or does he just fucking suck?
Okay, listen, two of his best friends were just, like, straight up flirting with each other and being all, like, touchy-feely. He wanted to be literally anywhere else.
Above all else, do no harm.
This is the first instance of Beaker being actively homophobic, you guys.
No.
And it won't be the last.
God. During that moment, Shivers did ask about Foxhound after hearing that she was injured, and about hearing about how seriously she was injured. He literally fought to get up and to go see her, even though he was like actively bleeding from like 10 different places.
He managed to get up and start walking.
He did. Tusk was
he just gave up on it.
Tusk was very much having to support him the entire time because he could barely walk on his own. And then also one of the sharks, I do believe we wrote it because Kieran literally took almost like enough damage to straight up outright kill him. He did break his leg in a very bad way. And so I have written in my notes, Red, less injured, comes over to help reset Kieran's broken leg and set it.
Nice.
And the noise caused Jasminder to pass out after running away from the needle being used to patch Shivers up.
I think I vaguely remember this.
That's so fucking funny.
Jasminder's very no good day. But then Avon helped patch Cassidy up, and Tusk and the others who were not injured helped carry the others to the carts to rest. The party eventually found respite at a ruined roadside tower, almost immediately collapsing into rest after how much everybody had been injured. Before they all find rest, however, Avon went to check in on Shivers, and being new to the party, was not aware that Shivers and Tusk are just good friends.
I remember this conversation.
And she expressed how glad she was that he had such a supportive partner to help with how injured he'd been today. And this sent Shivers into a gay fluster as he said that he and Tusk are just good friends.
We're just mates.
Yeah. Just dudes who were friends.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Those chilling in the desert 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
During this, Kieran also pulled Jasminder aside after his near-death experience to tell Jasminder to tell anybody about his daughter Kira in Crookstone and to find her should anything else happen to him.
Her directive was to not tell anyone and to keep it absolutely under wraps.
Damn, I didn't know that part.
You know what? And you know what she did with that directive? She failed it almost immediately.
Literally immediately.
I think
told
less than 48 hours passed before Shivers found out.
Yep. But, that night, the caravan got hit with another ambush early into the night. As the first two on watch, Kieran and Victos were immediately attacked, with Kieran going down immediately.
I think this is the part where Victory got stabbed again. I think that was the entire impetus that woke all of us up, is that we heard her horrible death scream of being stabbed.
Yes, the assassins had snuck into her tent to stab her.
It's more jackals, folks.
And all hell broke loose. To down some of the attackers, Red started breathing fire and set a tent on fire by accident.
God damn it.
Her and Victos went quote-unquote dragon mode. Cassidy yells and successfully intimidated two of the weaker fighters. Tusk and Beaker run as medics, literally getting people up as soon as they go down, because both Jasminer and Avon go down, though with everyone pulling together, all the jackals were eventually dealt with, except for one who was kept to be interrogated. He confirmed that they were sent there to finish off Victory. Shivers, Kieran, and Cassidy all convinced him successfully to go tell the others that she's dead. He asked for a horn as proof, and they vehemently disagreed, sending him off with some of her jewelry instead as a compromise.
And a hatchet that was buried in his shoulder that I did not bother to retrieve.
Yes, I have written down that Shivers nearly killed him as he was heading out, but let him go at Kieran's behest.
He drug him by it for a little bit.
Yep. Once again, the injured are tended to, and Shivers and Tusk have a moment of checking in on each other and making sure the other is okay, like bros do.
Platonic, heterosexual checking in on each other.
Yep. Victory was shaken but recovering, and agreed to start sharing a tent with Cassidy for protection. I'm sure that won't escalate into anything. With Red's assistance. Oh, what was that, Wes?
Really not.
Yeah, totally. With Red's assistance, Kieran writes a coded letter to Barren Sands to let both Maisie and Sarah know that Victory wasn't actually killed. And since he's followed them this far out of loyalty for Joran, they send Oss away with the message. Shivers and Victory manage to find more common ground in the wake of the fight, and Red and Victos, while still bound and unable to say much about their condition, do admit that when they pull on those abilities, it can be quite taxing on them, and it comes at a price, though it's one they're both willing to pay to keep the party safe. Afterwards, the party manages several days of uninterrupted travel where they aren't caught in fights, much to everybody's relief, as the injuries were pretty intense. On the road, the party comes across the corpse of a land whale, picked clean by scavengers. Taking rest in the protection of the 15-foot rib bones, the party continues to recharge, as Jasminder recalls a story in that moment about a beast called the Scourge of the Wastes, a near-mythical creature that would be strong enough to bring down a land whale like this, and inflict the clear wounds that it bore, with some of the, damage to the bones, being teeth marks. At long last, the party arrives at the Thirsty Rose, a roadside tavern in a small settlement several days outside of Barren Sands. Cassidy hits the markets, while Avon takes the donkeys to the stable, hearing about a mark put out by the Baroness Leovaris Fliarin for a large beast wiping out caravans on the road. And she also saw some sand sails against the walls that they use there for short-range transportation across the sand dunes. Heading to the inn/tavern, the party gets the 5 remaining rooms and take a moment to soak in the baths they have in the back. During which, Avon mentions the mark she heard about and that it could be what was destroying the other caravans on the road and what had killed the land whale. The party agrees to take the job, so they head back in to accept the job, signing up under the group name for the first time, Dust Devils. He mentions that another group attempted to hunt the beast, but only one of the group had come back, a dwarven ranger towards the back of the tavern. Avon, Kieran, and Jasminder went to talk to her, while Cassidy and Shivers split off briefly. The ranger survivor tells them of a great appendage that had knocked them all off of their sails, and the sandstorm that seemed to follow the creature, and that its size was more massive than any of them could make out. While the others chat with the ranger, Cassidy sends a package to Safe Haven, and Shivers tracks down the Half-Lights, who had walked down to the beach. There, he tells them he's leaving in the morning and to go hunt down this dangerous creature that was destroying caravans. Foxhound, upset, stormed off as Beaker goes to follow her / keep her out of trouble. And Tusk and Shivers have a totally not gay moment where he makes Shivers promise to come back. Back at the tavern, I believe Avon comforts the ranger, buys her a drink, and gives her some space, as everybody starts splitting off for their rooms. Jasminder takes a moment to try and attune to the orb again, but fails as it's grown dormant once more. So instead, she gets some wine that she shares with Sabine, and, very reluctantly, with Foxhound in a show of trust. In turn, Foxhound lets her braid her hair, noting the new scar along her forehead and her hairline where the land shark had scratched her. Jasminder made her a promise to keep Shivers safe, and finally broke through to Foxhound. With a shortage of beds and no shortage of gay tension, Victory and Cassidy shared a bed, as did Shivers and Tusk and Red and Avon. Much to Victory's displeasure of having to room with anybody in the caravan, and it being Cassidy, known bastard. In the morning before they left, Kieran gifted Sabine a book he got at the market, and over breakfast, Shivers is approached by Foxhound, who expresses her worry in her own weird way, and he tells her that he's coming back. Whether she believes him or not is a different story, though she does steal his bacon.
No.
Hmm?
I stole her bacon.
That's right! You did
Yeah.
steal her bacon. In like a moment of like levity that like broke through her anxiety.
Shivers was big brothering in that moment for sure.
He was definitely like embodying the big brother energy.
Jasminder really did an amazing job at protecting him, as well as we'll see when we get to the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the party, leaving the caravan and the carts behind, the party leaves with Red and Victos on the sand sails to face against the Scourge of the Wastes, reportedly seen near some old ruins to the north. Which also drew some worry as Crookstone is also directly north, and nobody really wants something like that to be at all close to any sort of civilization. So it isn't long out on the sand sails before the party made contact with the Scourge, riding in on either side. The sand sails I described as like large longboards. What's the
Sailboards?
paddle boards with sails, so they're able to use the wind to be propelled forward and not carry much drag from the sands underneath, but still be able to have like a slight amount of control.
They're pretty dope. I'm pretty dope looking.
Yeah. Yeah, as you guys rode in on the sand sails in essentially what was a sandstorm, being kicked up from this creature diving through the sands, swimming through it almost like a creature, like a not like a shark, but like, I guess kind of like a shark. So the party makes contacts, and it emerges, attempting to throw them off the sand sails. The ranged attackers pepper it from afar. Cassidy throws a stick of dynamite, and it launches a giant rock at Shivers and Jasminder as it gets hit with a second stick of dynamite. But combined, everybody was able to do enough damage to send the beast off course, with it retreating underground, even after Shivers went unconscious.
Just 1 second.
Oh, yeah?
There's just something we need to point out here.
Of course.
Earlier, dear listeners, you might have heard the part where Jasminder promised Foxhound that she would protect Shivers, and I would like to sort of explore what her plan was to do this, which was to have Shivers sail up to the thing, and we're all gonna keep in mind that he is her bodyguard, and just leap onto its back. Just jump right on top of the enormous creature that we're throwing dynamite directly at, to, I don't know, sit up there and dream? Punch it with your bare hands? This creature's like 30 times your size? That was her grand plan. That was her genius move, to win the day and protect Shivers.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, a smarter monk there never was. We may continue.
Of course.
Okay, but let's understand that Shivers doesn't die. Okay? Let's say
Shivers
that.
dies 1,000 deaths every fucking time Jasmine does some dumb shit.
You're protected.
Which, by the way, I will say,
Dang,
the
just
Scourge,
said I
in
would
its full
unconscious.
size, was roughly 45 feet long and 20 feet high.
Jesus.
The size at
For
which
those of you that don't know, for any of my Europeans out there that want that in whatever, that want that in kilometers and jiggies or whatever stupid fucking measurement you use, that's too goddamn big.
It's extremely large. But yes, everybody was able to do enough damage to knock it off course, where it tried to flee by digging underneath the earth, but Red Invictus, seeing just what it was capable of, and noting the proximity of which you were, like, it was digging to Crookstone, decided to dive after it. And you guys were able to see kind of where it started to head, and then it subsequently exploded out of the ground, with a so there's this titanic monster now of thick hide and teeth, the size of large swords, 20 feet by 45, absolutely massive, colliding with the now fully draconic forms of Red Invictus, as Victus is but knocked aside like metaphors. Fuck, I can't think of one. Victus is knocked aside. And
Metaphor?
Knocked aside, or simile. Shut up.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
I think I have one. I think I have one. Victos was knocked aside, like the really hot, mad, fuckable dragon that he is when he's a real dragon, when he's like a full dragon. So.
Yeah, so Victos was knocked aside, and Red got basically stuck in its mouth, and it carried her off.
Bye, Red.
But
also fuckable as a dragon, for the record.
But it did, in doing so, it left a very clear trail for you all to follow, where you followed them north to a set of ruins, a place unfortunately familiar to Avon. Victos, now unconscious due to injury and the use of ancient things, it was left just outside the ruins to take a little nap, as the party went fucking beast mode, rushing it while it was trying to recuperate. Despite its size, Jasminder fully climbed on top of it to try and drive blows home specifically in between the plates of its natural armor, with Avon trying to draw the beast's attention and baiting it forward so that Shivers
she did.
Yeah, and Shivers coming around to the side to slice open an opening, with both Cassidy and Kieran firing bullets from afar. Together, both Avon and Shivers were able to cripple the front legs of the beast, sending it crashing to the ground, as all the damage combined had opened up weak spots in the natural plate armor. Giving it
Notice how my plan from earlier worked.
You're not wrong. You were able to bring it down, and those little weak spots gave a nice big target for everybody to focus on, with Shivers getting the final killing blow. And that, dear listeners, is all of the lost episodes.
Oh, really? That's where it ends, with us killing that guy, huh?
Yep, it ends with
Oh
you
my
guys
God.
killing the Scourge of the Waste.
Well, listeners, this has been the Shattered Lands Lost Episodes recap, brought to you by Boost Mobile.
What the fuck? Nobody's giving me money for this?
You get sponsored by Boost Mobile. You can.
No. We don't mention
I
brands
encourage
here
you.
unless
Don't
they
listen to
pay
her.
me.
She don't know shit. You can always message us at shatteredlands@gmail.com to tell us that your favorite character is Shivers, because he's the best guy and the coolest guy, and everybody else isn't nearly as cool and awesome. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
We don't have enough listeners.
Once again, this is the Shattered Lands Lost Episode recap, sponsored by Boost
Sponsored
Mobile.
by nobody. Nobody's giving me money.
By Boost
No corporate
Mobile.
bullshit here.
Sponsored by Windstream.
Shadow Legends.
Not Rachel Legends now.
Sponsored by Tubi.
You guys, no, don't give them all free publicity.
For the faking.
Watch
No.
some bullshit at www.tubi.com. Whatever the fuck they have on fucking.
Was there anything I missed that you guys noticed? Or does that...
No, I think you did it pretty comprehensively.
Sick. My obsessive and insane note-taking continues to prove effective.
We all had a bath at the Thirsty Rose. We had a communal bath.
I mentioned that. Yeah, I didn't mention any... I couldn't...
Oh, you did? Okay.
I didn't mention any, like, details of what happened during the bath, but...
I don't think much happened. I think
guys
we just kind of had a bath and we vibed out.
I think we should
Yeah.
all bathe together.
Yeah. No, you
Bonding
weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You were bathing. You were in a separate bathhouse with, I think, just Sabine and Foxhound.
Oh yeah,
you went with the miners.
Yeah, private girl bath. Because Shivers came over there to get soap. He was like, oh my god, can you hand me some soap? There's like 11 of us in here and no soap.
Oh,
We all commented about everyone's tattoos.
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Period,
yeah.
gang.
That's it. Look forward to the backlog of episodes now being posted.
Look forward to Shattered Lands, the Crookstone art, brought to you by Avatar: The Way of Water.
Brought to you by nobody.
Brought to you by KitchenAid.
Brought to you by Netflix.
Brought to you
Brought to you by
by
Netflix.
me and my
Awesome.
friends having fun together.
Seen on TV featuring Knuckles.
God damn it. Oh, de-inspiration for all of you.